on, people? Welcome back to another great episode of the Mark and Will Show. And of course, you got your favorite two hosts of the most, Mark and Will.
Yeah, what's going on? How's everybody doing?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. Here we go. What's going on? Start it over because
It's
I
all
feel
good.
like
It's all good. Look. I hope we got a good one today. We had a little technical difficulty, kind of threw us off real quick. Uh, things like that. Hope everybody is having a great Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. We have a great show today. We got a great interview, something different, something new today. So I'm so excited on that, man. But how was your day today, Mark?
I was good. Plenty of rest. I'll tell you that. Plenty of rest. How was your day?
Hey man, we was the delay. We had like a 2 hour delay because the ice and everything like that. But man, I'm like, man, I'm ready to stay home. Getting up out of bed and go to work and try to get the ice off your car and all kinds of stuff, man. By the time I got to
Yeah.
work, I'm
Yeah.
ready to go back home. So, that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah, that was very frustrating on that one. But it is what it is. Done survived it. So ready to rock and
Right.
roll, pretty much like that, man. You guys, like I said, we got a special guest tonight, but you know how we do. This is where you're gonna find us at all these different spots. Make sure we get on here. Mark and Will Show, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, you don't stop, Instagram, uh, Mark and Will Gaming, all that good stuff. The website, markandwillshow.com, Mark and Will Show Facebook group page. Make sure you get on there so you can vote. You definitely got to go ahead and take care of business and vote like that because there's so much stuff on there. Man, we already got uh, three of the four polls got over 2,000 votes each. The other one's coming up to a
Wow.
thousand. So these people, hey, we love it. We love it. They're doing what they do. You can't go wrong with that. So make sure you go vote for these student athletes. They deserve it without a doubt.
Mm.
So take care of them. You know that. Like we said before, FNC, we'll definitely get something going on with that. Um, get pick another day so we can go ahead and have fun with that, and talk about some very serious topics and things that has happened in the world as we know.
Mm.
So we got to go ahead and do that. So FNC, my sisters, my siblings who's watching this, make sure you get with me so we can go ahead and get some dates. Gaming.
Yep. It's back up, and it's crazy. I'm actually getting on after the show tonight. Try to get a couple of games in with me and AJ, a couple other fellas on Call of Duty. So if you up, stay tuned. If not, go rewatch it tomorrow. It's gonna be up there.
What you said, hey, that's what it's about right there. You definitely got to do that. Let me see. I want to make sure because actually it's supposed to be on another thing, so I want to see if I can go ahead and try to delete that. So I will be doing that shortly on that one. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. I want to hit high school real quick. The games and everything else was canceled today because of the ice. With some games. I just hope that they're able to go ahead and reschedule them. I don't know if they can. Don't know how about that, but a lot of stuff was missed out today. So make sure you do that. Um,
I wouldn't be surprised if they wouldn't try to play tomorrow.
yeah, I mean, well, if they can do it, why not? You know what I'm saying? If they can do it, go ahead and
Yeah,
knock that out
right.
and take care of that. Might as well. If you can get away with it, do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Because seniors and things like that missing their games, and you want to go ahead.
Mm.
So I don't mind that with that one. So I don't blame them. Let's see. They won't let me do that, but that's okay. All right. Without further ado, we got a special guest tonight. Bringing him on. We got Coach Harris on here joining us. Southwest College women's flag football coach. Hey, how you
Right.
doing, Coach Harris?
I'm doing excellent on this evening. I appreciate y'all fellas having me on.
Hey man, hey,
No
it's an honor.
problem.
it's an honor. Thank you, the mayor, like always, taking care of business and hooking us up with great topics, great subject, all this kind of stuff like this. So, man, let's hit the ground running with this. So, tell us a little bit about flag football for the women. What for we all are familiar with flag football, hopefully, but how different is it, and explain the whole concept and everything else like that with us.
Yeah, no doubt. We all played some version of flag football growing up, outdoors, just backyard football, right? You know, Mostly not structured. You're just trying to pull the flag and get boys, but everybody's getting broke off because everybody got them lateral moves. So, you know, flag football kind of came about in my life when I was in Alaska,
Mm,
ironically. I coached basketball at a high school with a guy, and he came to me one day and said, they're starting flag football up in this interior. I was in Fairbanks, Alaska. And he said, "You want to be the head coach of this school team with me?" I said, "Let's do it." It was a fall sport in Alaska. We coached in the winter and have a lot to do in the fall. We decided to start coaching back in 2015, and the rest is really history. I coached for 4 years up there, left for a couple, and came back these last couple years. So I coached 6 years of flag football at the high school level in Alaska. Won 3 interior championships in the 6 years. Over time, I said to myself, I'm so passionate about this game, and I see the purpose in what I'm supposed to do with coaching athletes, at serious athletes, that I'm gonna try to get a job at a college. Um, so that's what led me to the state of Kansas, where I currently reside. Winfield, Kansas is the city. Um, the sport had already been at the college level since 2020. Now, NAI is where the sport started, and most of the schools at the college level that have women's flag football are at the NAI level. There's anywhere between 17 and 20 schools, and they're mostly in Kansas, Nebraska. There's one in Missouri, and then Florida, Georgia, that area. I think there's one in Tennessee, and Kentucky actually has one. Campbellsville. They just started up a flag football program. So the sport's been around at the college level, in terms of how the sport is played. Now, here's one of the biggest things, y'all. It's a lot different at the college level than we played in Alaska. Now, in Alaska, at the high school level, we play full field, like the full field, like just in same as a boys football game. At the college level and in other states at the high school level, they shrink the field. The dimensions width-wise are 40 yards. Lengthwise, you're kind of taking out 20 yards of the field. First downs, you're thinking like 20, 40, other 40, 20 goal line. And so the field is actually 100 yards in length. Actually, I don't think I got that right. 20, 40, 20 goal line. So it's 100 yards in length versus the 120 of an actual football field with the 10-yard end zones. So the field's a little bit smaller, which it completely changes the game, right? So that's already something that I'm adjusting to, and I have to adjust to, being able to play full field flag football. You can have complete run game, play action offense, but with the field shrunk a little bit, it changes things a whole lot. So um, I'm adjusting, and I love that. Like it, because for me, I always change my schemes up offensively and defensively anyway. It's like any coach. So
right.
for me, it's just another thing that allows me to become more versatile in my coaching and be more well-rounded as a coach in general.
Right. Let me ask you this though, Coach. And you talking about you change around. What kind of offense? How what kind of offense and defense will you run? And how would that look? 'Cause for the people who you got a lot of people who used to playing maybe powder puff and they took off and maybe they interested because in this opportunity to play on a collegiate level.
Of course. So, without giving away too many of my
Right.
secrets, still, uh, flag football at the college level, I've noticed watching a lot of the NAI films, generally they either have one down rusher on the defensive side of the ball or two, and there's generally a center on the offensive side of the ball. And if that down rusher or stand up rusher is a dog,
Mhm.
then they keep a second person in as like a up back to help block for the QB to give the QB time. And I'm noticing that's the focal point. That's the starting point of everything in flag football. So you got to have a mobile QB. You have to have a mobile QB in flag football. So any of y'all QBs out there, I love pocket passing QBs.
Mhm.
My QB's got to be dual threat. They got to be able to run. You really can't get by with a QB who can't move around at this level. And I mean, it's how it is. It's how the football game is going anyway at every level. If you want to think about it in a broader spectrum, right? Like all the best teams nowadays at every level, they QB is mobile.
Right.
So it's not much different at women's flag football level. Generally, teams have spread offenses, a couple slots, outside receivers. It's 7-on-7,
Okay.
right? 7-on-7. You can motion the trips. There's a big emphasis on the pitch game in flag football. Teams like you got to be ready for the laterals. They really coach that up in a way that in outdoor football you're not. You, y'all play football. You go to
Right.
practice. Your coach ain't coaching you. Okay, when you're about to get tackled, you're trying to pitch it because it's flag pulling. That's a major part of the game.
Right.
So you got to be ready to break down and be prepared for that player to pitch. So it's just something else to take into account. Now, defensively, to continue answering your question, teams got all kind of different styles of defense. You see teams kind of play what they call a 2-3-2. You got teams with one deep safety, teams sitting in cover three all the time. Then you got teams who will send three or four and then just play a zone defense in the back. So you can really play around a lot defensively, but obviously it's based off your personnel. Like
Right.
if it's based off that rusher, you got a good rusher and a good QB, you well on your way in flag football.
Okay. That's good. Okay, let's get it this way. Like, how many players will you have? How big will your roster be?
Yeah, good question, Will. So, the first season, I'm gonna hopefully bring in between 15 and 20. And I think the teams who have just started up, they're right around that number. Now, some of the teams who have had the sport for 3-4 years since it started, since its inception back in 2020, they're getting up there around the 25, 30 athlete mark. So their teams are starting to grow a little bit bigger. I think a couple teams even have a little bit over 30 players, but 15 to 20 is kind of my number right now for the first season.
Oh, that's good stuff right there. And is it going to be like evenly? I guess no. Let me ask you this. So, are they going both ways? Are you feeling it where you don't have to go both ways? How maybe maybe your quarterback is the best safety too. Like, how's that going to look, Coach?
Yeah, man, you got some good questions tonight, man. So that I'm the type of coach who I'll just put it like this: my best players are going to be on the field. Like I could have a roster of 15, but if my QB is also my best cornerback, which was the case for one of my teams in Alaska, my quarterback had 15 interceptions on defense. I'm not the type of coach whose mindset is I don't want that player to potentially get injured on defense. I'm not thinking like that. My best players are going to be on the field, and I think a lot of teams employ that, but some teams they, for whatever reason, want to have a deeper roster. Maybe they think their players are going to get fatigued. Maybe they're worried about the injuries. That's not my mindset. My best players are going to be on the field.
Wow. Speaking of the players, like you know, who else is helping you out? Like, you have assistant coaches, or what's going on with that?
Well, so I have people around who are helping me. Honestly, one of the people that's helping me in Kentucky as the sport gets up and coming out there is the mayor, Brandon Cosby. He been kind of keeping me in a loop of athletes in that area in areas that are kind of pushing the sport more because Campbellsville, they started their program out there, and I think their first athlete that they ever signed was from Kentucky, and I don't think she played flag football. I think she was from Bardstown. So Brandon out in Kentucky, and then I got people in other states. Obviously, I got folks still up in Alaska who got me connected up there. But for me, I'm the type of person I'm gonna put the work in that I need to. Like I go, I'm emailing coaches, I'm connecting with kids on social media, I'm connecting with coaches on social media, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes. I'm taking trips to combines and workouts and trying to find athletes who are passionate about the game and are looking to play at the college level.
Coach Harris, another thing, and I'm just, I'm learning so much right now anyway. But I'm thinking like, so how does that look? Like as far as like you said, you got some help and things like that. What type of player are you looking for? Like, because you like you said, it's not like you have a lot of, you have powder puff and hats off to Dr. April. You know what I'm saying? The AD who had a tournament with, and Carlos and all these guys helped with that. So like it's not to me. It's not a lot of, I guess, and I could be wrong. A lot of showcases for the young ladies that want to play. So, how difficult is it, and then what type of player are you looking for?
Yeah, good question. And there was kind of multiple questions in there,
Yeah.
and I'll get to them all. So first and foremost, there's hotbeds within our country where flag football has been around at the high school level for a while.
Okay.
So there's actually a more than you think kids that are looking to get recruited to play flag football. It's at Alaska where I come from. So in the town I lived in, Fairbanks, we got it in 2015ish, but the sport had already been in Anchorage since the early 2000s. So it
Right.
had been in Alaska for a long time. Now, other hotbed places in the country that I'm recruiting from, Las Vegas,
Mm.
that Nevada area is a hotbed, and then Georgia and Florida, they've had flag football for a while. Actually, in Florida, young ladies come up all the way from youth age playing flag football. Think
Right.
about it as if it's like AAU flag football, like comparable to like basketball or regular footballers. They're playing since they're little kids. So that's in terms of football acumen and knowledge. Florida and Georgia are the states where, well, Florida is where they've been playing the longest. Georgia, not so much, but you can imagine like how quickly it'll grow there because in the South they'll be able to play all year. They
Right.
won't have to go indoors versus other states. Now, it's been brought to Illinois. I went to a showcase in the Chicago area. They had their first season last year. I think Texas actually might have had their first season last year. And then Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey area. That's another little pocket where there's players where they've had flag football for a couple years. And then California and Arizona also adding flag football. I think both of their first seasons at the high school level is this spring. So it's all over the place. In terms of what type of athletes I'm recruiting specifically,
Yeah.
to answer that question, there's kind of, I guess you could say, a checklist of things I look for in student athletes that I recruit. The first one, I mean, it's, do you take the classroom seriously? You got to take the classroom seriously for me to take you seriously in terms of being recruited. Your GPA is going to say a lot. Your ACT and SAT scores, they're going to say a lot right off the bat. So I look at those things. Then I generally try to talk to your coach and see if you're coachable or not. Are you coachable? Is your coach going to vouch for your character, or is your coach going to say, "Yeah, she talked back to me all the time"?
Right. Right.
I'm,
Right.
I'm not recruiting anybody like that. I mean, straight up, they're not getting recruited in any sport, right? So you got those. I like well-rounded athletes, y'all. I'm not the specialization type. Now, don't get me wrong. If a kid is like definitely going pro in something, then you can specialize in high school. But outside of that, I like well-rounded athletes. Actually, most of my players for my team in Alaska and athletes that I've been recruiting so far since I've been in Kansas, you
Mm-hmm.
know, soccer, basketball players, hockey up in Alaska was big, softball players. And it's interesting because you can kind of see their skill sets from these sports right off the bat. They might not know the game of football, but generally, the girls that are versatile, you like, okay, she probably played basketball. The
Right.
kids with the good feet, super fast lateral quickness, she played soccer. Ones with the good hands, yeah, she played softball. And then, the physical ones
Right.
up in Alaska, they played they played hockey. So, those are some of the, I guess you could say, things on the checklist that I'm looking for in athletes I'm recruiting. I'm strict on work ethic, like because ain't nobody ever given me anything, so I'm all about hard work and working to get what you want, not making excuses about stuff. I don't really mess with people who make excuses, and take that right into my recruiting as well. So hopefully I answered your
No,
question
you
pretty
did.
well.
No, you did. You did. I gave you a loaded statement
You
question. So
did.
you knocked it out of the park. Mark, you got anything?
Yeah, when you was saying about they shortened the field for college, right?
Yeah.
For the
Yeah.
flag football. So is it still 1st and 10? Are they gonna shorten to be like first and you know what I'm saying? 1st and 5, 1st and 8, something like that.
Yeah, so it's 20 yards for a first down. So okay, so I'll put it like this. Every 20 yards is a first down marker. So let's say, we start at our own 15 and we get to the 25-yard line, right? We got that first down because we passed the 20, but we got to get to the 40. So the next first down is 1st and 15. 3 yards, then it's 2nd and 12. You always got to get to either the 20, the 40, the 40, the other 20 goal line. You get what I'm saying? Every first down is 20 yards.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Big time. Speaking of that, what kind of facilities you got up there at Southwestern College, man?
Man, it's really nice, man, and I'm glad you asked that. They actually, for NAI school, they got excellent facilities, and the culture of sports here is outstanding. Like they have some winning programs. Like if you get online, they men's basketball program, they really good. They ranked in the top, I think maybe top 10 at the NAI level right now. Their football team made the NAI playoffs this past season. Really good teams. They actually just had a dude on a basketball team over the weekend drop like 35, and they got some ballers out here, man. And it's a nice old, their gym. It's interesting because it's kind of like, it's a brick building. It's one of those real old brick buildings, and
Mhm.
it's kind of compact in there. So you can imagine, like, when it's packed with students in there,
Right,
the opposing team don't really got a chance. Like they gonna have to deal with the crowd and everything. And it's like a little theater, so it's nice with that. They got a nice weight room. It's more of a football style weight room, like with a lot of Olympic equipment. You can tell, it's more for the football team, which is cool.
right.
Um, the football stadium's nice, the newer field turf, and the way the football stadium, where it's set on campus, is you start going up this hill, and then at the bottom of the hill, you can see the whole football stadium. It's really nice, and just the campus in general. Honestly, it reminds me a lot of the college I went to in a lot of ways. Kentucky Wesleyan. So
Yeah,
it kind of feels at home a little bit.
yeah, that's good stuff, without a doubt. So let me ask you this, and I know that you guys are going to be starting, playing in 24. How about the scheduling? How many games will you guys play? And
Yeah. So yeah, good question. What I've learned already is that our conference, which is called the KCAC,
okay,
they do all the scheduling for conference games. Like so, prior to the season next year, they'll schedule all the conference games. I think I can still schedule some non-conference games, so that would be going and playing some of the NAI teams, maybe in Tennessee, maybe the squad in Tennessee or Kentucky, ones in Georgia and Florida. But pretty much all the teams from our conference are right in this Kansas,
okay,
Nebraska, Missouri area. And they schedule it for us. So I don't got to worry about doing any of that. But I think it's about 12 to 16 games total.
okay, okay. And so, will you guys be using the regular, the football field, with the men's football? Because and I'm the reason why I'm asking that because with the scheduling, like, will you guys games be played on Saturday, Friday? When do you guys what that look like?
Yeah, right now. right now it looks like we'll be using the soccer field, which is kind of adjacent to the actual football field. And I like that because, when you're using the actual football field, it's you'll see like if you look up flag football games, it's kind of weird how they kind of have to reconfigure the sidelines because of the nature of the shorter width on the field and everything. So having a field where you can just lay it out and then you can have the fans right there on the sidelines and right there like right on the top of the field. When you're at home, you can have that true home field advantage, versus trying to
Right.
play on the actual football field. So I think we'll be using the soccer field mostly.
Okay. And what days would it be? Like, is it a set, like college football, they got it used to be only one, then now it's got several days that they play. But do you know what day of the week you guys will actually be playing on?
Yeah, I think they mostly play weekend games, and then they'll have a midweek game. Don't quote me on that though. I'll have to look that one up. I think it's most they'll have a weekend game and then a midweek game. And then the season in general, the games start late February and
Okay.
they go through I think mid to late April, and then they have a big tournament where all the NAI teams come together, and that's held down in Atlanta.
Ooh, okay. Wow.
And that's usually the first or second weekend in May.
Okay. Does all the team like does it depend on what you do in your conference to get invited to this tournament, just like other stuff, or does everybody get a free pass?
You know what, man? That's something I was trying to figure out while watching last year's. Like I said, they have it on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure everybody was there. Like,
Wow.
even the teams that didn't do so well, and there was some teams like that was getting knocked off pretty bad down there. But that was getting knocked off pretty bad. But the thing about it is, I think because flag football at the collegiate level is really pushed by the NFL. So
Mm,
like in states that have it, some states and some schools have gotten directly funded by the NFL. So the games are played at the Falcon Stadium, Mercedes
oh,
Benz, and
okay.
I think it's their attempt to really push the game forward, and to me it's really smart. They're trying to push it forward and grow the sport a lot. So yep, that's how it goes.
Hey man, hey, I love this because you the thing about football, you play football, you know what I'm saying, collegiate level, all that kind of stuff. That's the one sport, and I'm not gonna say one, but it's the most popular sport in
Yeah,
in
Hmm.
in America, big time. And when I'm saying
yeah,
that, like, no, you can go to somebody's household and mama's got a team, sister's got a team, everybody got a
yeah.
team.
That's
Like
right.
everybody watches it. Like, oh my gosh, your team lost. I get so many text messages from my siblings and nephews and other people ride me out about my team. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's involved. So now you have a chance as a young lady to play. Like I said, this
That's
is
right.
new. You know what I'm saying? I know you say Campbellsville. You know what I'm saying, but I don't know. I'm not trying to come down on Campbellsville. I mean, they can come on the show also. I don't make no difference. But we need to hear more about it. Like I've never heard about that till you said it. I love the way that the Jefferson County High School was doing a tournament for that. Like, let's go ahead and grow. It's plenty of young
Yeah,
that love football.
yeah,
Football. So let me
yeah.
ask you this: you in an area that has been used to it, seeing more than us. Like, um, as a new coach and a new program coming, man, how much homework and how much work do you have to do to build that support at Southwestern College?
Yeah, it definitely takes more than just your 9 to 4, 9 to 5 type of job, man. You got to put a lot of hours in if you want to build any program the right way. And for me, it's about making sure I do right by the kids that I'm recruiting. And that means making sure they come into a situation where they're gonna be thriving right off the bat. We're gonna be prepared to play. They're gonna be at a school that supports them. They're gonna be at a place where they feel comfortable. And I know, as I build the program, Southwestern's not gonna be for every kid I recruit. I understand that. But at the same time, I know that the kids that I do get, they're gonna have a great experience when they're here. So I'll do it. I'm doing whatever it takes. Still only been on campus working for a few weeks, so I'm learning a lot about kind of how they do things here.
Mm-hmm.
I like it so far a lot. I think the folks, the other coaches, they're very accepting. The athletic director, she's a real cool lady, real supportive of the program. You could tell she plays sports. Generally when I work with somebody or have a boss who played sports, you they gonna understand you and the things you need and the things you're gonna need to go, the things that you'll go through to be able to grow, and the things you that may hold you back.
Right,
So it'll be easy to communicate with people like that. But it definitely takes a lot of work.
right, right. And so, and I'm, because it just brings so much questions to me as far as on the collegiate level, and I'm glad that you on here, Coach, because my thing is like training, like strength training. When you guys have a program, similar. I hate to say similar to the men, but that's the only thing I can gauge it on. So, you have access to all that kind of stuff too, the weight room and all that kind of stuff, and you have a built-in program that you're going to be doing. I mean, how is that? How would that look?
Yeah, no doubt. I definitely got a program in place already. It's interesting because me in my adult life, I still work out daily,
Right,
and a lot of people see me at the gym and they're like, "Coach, you still work out like an athlete." So I kind of got something in place for my young ladies that's going to be really similar to what I do in the gym,
okay,
and yeah, we're gonna grow from there because think about it. A lot of them are going to come into the situation where they're going to college. They've played football for maybe 2 or 3 years. They're really good. They raw talent and they're
right,
really good, but they need to know discipline. And you learn discipline in the weight room, right? Like
right,
they're gonna need to get faster, quicker. You learn that in the weight room, in the fast twitch, different lifts, speed squats, getting on Olympic bars and getting some power cleans in, the type of lifts that football players need. Yeah, we definitely gonna be in there. And I have a program in place already. And um I'm excited. I'm excited for that part of it because that's where you really build the character at in the athletes. That's when you're going to see the athletes who really there for the right reasons, or
right,
you're going to see okay, who's really lazy, and hopefully a big part of my recruiting actually is looking for athletes who have that at their high school, who have coaches who already have them in the gym, in the weight room. I'm really looking for athletes, from that background, and that kind of goes along with what we talked about earlier, with just having athletes who play multiple sports.
right.
Because if you play multiple sports, you're more than likely going to have at least one coach who has you in the weight room already, preparing you for what college is in the gym.
Right. And I love that because like how you explained about the different sports and like that, that kind of stuff like that. Because some people have not been exposed. I mean, you know, everybody wants a cheetah. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Right.
it's your track star, somebody that you can just go ahead and rock and roll. So my thing is this: is that something that you also look at? I mean, I'm sure the mayor is definitely got his eyes on some kiddos, some student athletes that maybe are not going to go to Texas or UK. UK's track program is top notch, but but got that speed. That kind of stuff like that. So, like, how patient are you going to be to have a player like that don't know anything about the sport?
Yes, man. Another excellent question, bro. Yes, I would definitely be recruiting some athletes who have no history of playing flag football. Listen, if I'm only recruiting from these 15, 20, whatever it is, number of states of flag football players, I'm really putting myself in a box.
Right,
Right? Like there's gonna be athletes who don't know about the game, who are incredible athletes who maybe got burnt out on basketball. Maybe they not getting looked at for track, but they have that push and that drive in them and they want to be a college athlete. Yeah. I'm definitely saving roster spots for athletes like that. And like you said, Brandon, he's definitely been keeping that in the back of my mind. And Brandon's the interesting thing about Brandon is, he's been 110% supportive of my program from day one, and he sends me athletes all the time that he sees on Twitter, Instagram, and he's been extremely supportive. And that's my brother.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's sir, that's right. He's our brother too. He definitely takes care of us, so we understand that relationship, man. It's nothing like the mayor, man. That's what we call him, the mayor, without a doubt. So let me let me ask you this. So as a parent, got a daughter, you want to play. What
Mhm.
kind of is it as far as do they have like do they have scholarships? Do they have Pell Grant? I mean, how would they get up there? I mean, what I'm saying, because I don't know what the tuition and things, but you get the out of state. What I don't know what's been allotted for your program and things like that. But how if you can give us a little snapshot of that.
Obviously, yeah, no doubt. So, obviously, the first thing for any high school senior is applying for that FAFSA. You got to get applied for that FAFSA, to where you can receive financial aid. Yeah, we offer scholarships. We offer scholarships. The way scholarships are broken down at Southwestern colleges, you will receive an athletic scholarship that can be up to a certain amount, but you also, just from admission into the school, if you get accepted, you'll receive an academic scholarship that's up to a certain amount. And then, you know, Pell Grant potentially for other student athletes who, right off the bat, after you enter that FAFSA, you're going to get that money. And then there's other scholarships options too at the school and available abroad. So there's a lot of opportunities to get a lot of your schooling paid off. And not just at Southwestern, but at most of the schools that are offering flag football. Yeah, most of the schools offer scholarships. They all do it a little bit differently, but that's how we do it at Southwestern.
Okay, that's cool, man. I like it. Want to hit some. You was talking about Alaska. How long was you in Alaska? And how
Man, it's
how
crazy.
and how did a former student athlete from
Indianapolis, man.
Indianapolis make it? Mark probably joined us back a little bit. I think he might have had a little problem. How does it from Indianapolis you get to Kentucky Western, but get to Alaska and maintain? How long was you in Alaska though?
Man, most people ain't even gonna believe it, man. But being from Indianapolis, born and raised, played 4 years at Kentucky Wesleyan down in Owensboro. Got done with school, and I was good enough to continue playing football. Not quite at the NFL level, but I was definitely good enough. I had a really good career in college. I had an agent. He called me up and said, "You want to go to Alaska and play on an arena football team up there?" I said, "Okay." Ended up in Alaska, around 2009, 2010, and lived up there ever since. Uh, played arena football for 2.5 years up there, and then the team actually folded, not because of any mishaps they were doing, because there at first were two teams in Alaska, arena football teams, and when the team from Anchorage went away, the funds of bringing opposing teams up to Alaska, it got too much to bear for our Fairbanks team. So our last season, we were really good. The division champs started off the season 0-2, then ripped off like 10 or 11 games in a row, won the division, and then was it. Guys were going to different arena football teams. I ended up staying and starting to work. I started coaching high school basketball first. A year later,
Mhm.
I coached high school basketball for 9 seasons up in Alaska, 2 years as an assistant at a school. Then I took over as a head coach at another school, and we actually made the state tournament for the first time last year. Didn't win it, but we made it to the state tournament. And then that second year of coaching basketball is when I picked up flag football. So to
Wow.
be honest with you, Will, that's how I know the winter. I know the winter, the coldness questions are coming. That's how I got through it. Coaching high school basketball in the winter, taking trips all over Alaska is kind of how I started making a living and just got in a mode where I was content living in Alaska for a while. You can make good money in Alaska, and it was a good place to live. And the cold weather didn't bother me at all, man. To be honest with you, it didn't
How
bother
was
me.
it? Man, I have so many questions. I mean, really, I have so many questions on that part of it because not too many people who has been to Alaska, but you lived there. Like
Yeah,
since you since you came to Southwestern, right? That's where you was at,
that's
right?
right. Drove through Canada.
Wow, wow. I'm just amazed. And so, how does flag football? Because you said they got big, they big on flag football up there too, right? In Alaska.
That's
So
right.
how does that look? I know it get pretty cold. I don't know a lot about Alaska, but I know it get cold. So how that look up there?
Yeah, so and I think honestly that's why it's a fall sport. So like you can start it, in the town I lived in, Fairbanks,
Mhm.
it starts really getting cold generally like late September, early October.
Whew.
Snow can come anywhere from late September to like mid-October around Halloween, but the season goes from late July to early October, and you go from 80 degrees in late July at the beginning of flag football season to the end of the season. The 2021 season, we had a snowstorm the last week of the season, and we in our final game of the season, they were clearing off the field mounds and mounds of snow just so we could have a clear field to play in. And that was like October 2nd or 3rd.
Wow.
So, you go through completely, crazy weather. But it's a great experience, sports wise, flag football wise,
Wow.
and
That,
it's amazing.
well, coach, you come from Indianapolis, hotbed football and definitely basketball. Definitely.
Definitely.
How was basketball up there? And I know I think what Boozers from there and Tregnan Langdon
Yeah.
from there. Like, how was that basketball up there, man? You can be honest on the show, man. Don't I know those kids
Well,
watch it, but what? How was the basketball up there? I'm just want to know.
It's not Indiana. It's not Indiana by any means, but Alaskan basketball will surprise you. They got some really good players. They got some really good coaches up there, at the boys' high school and girls' high school level. They play a different style of basketball in different parts of Alaska. Like if you go to a village in Alaska, it's gonna be a more perimeter oriented game. Guys trying to shoot threes a lot, and some of them dudes, boy, they will shoot the lights out all day. You know, the teams, those type of teams, they'll sit in the 2-3 zone all game. Well, my style, when we finally got to state, what allowed us to get there was I had a really, really good defensive team last year. My team that really locked in team defense,
Mhm.
that's what got us to state. But really the top area for high school basketball in Alaska is gonna be down in the Anchorage area. Like they have D1 players, man, all the time. Now they're not going to your top of the line D1 schools
Right.
generally. They have some, but they'll go to some smaller D1 schools, and it's really, you'd be surprised. Like if you went to Anchorage and seen some games, there's a couple like, you know, culturally black high schools around that area. Like their athletic teams, like mostly black, and like you'd be surprised. Man, Anchorage is actually an extremely diverse city. I think it's one of the most culturally diverse cities in our country, Anchorage, Alaska. Not so much in Fairbanks, but Anchorage definitely is.
Right. Right. So leaving Alaska, getting the opportunity, and for people who probably might be just joining us, 'cause like I said, we're live on Twitter, we're live on Facebook and things like that. So, how did this job come about? How did you find out about this job?
Yeah, so I, because of my passion and my desire to coach college athletics, I started applying. I started applying for college basketball coaching jobs, and mostly college basketball coaching jobs, to be honest.
Hmm.
And eventually, I said, college flag football is growing. It's a growing sport. Let me look for some women's flag football jobs. I got a lot of experience in this too. A couple colleges got back with me immediately, and that's really how it came about. I just decided that, I also was a teacher up there in an alternative school. I taught math and phys ed, so that was my day job. I realized that that wasn't something that I wanted to do forever, and I'm still young. No kids yet.
Hmm.
um married, so it was still an opportunity for me to kind of pursue what I really wanted to do, and lo and behold, man, just prayed about it, and that's how I ended up down here in Kansas.
Wow, man, that's impressive, big time. I mean, whew, this is the last one.
Appreciate it.
This, I would, that's just I can see, and it's crazy because I can see like flag football, California, Florida, warm states, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you know, but Alaska just throws me off, and that
Yeah,
throws me off in a good thing way because we need to make sure that you know these opportunities for everybody. Let's go ahead and all states. Let's go ahead and get that. You'd be amazed, not you, but they would be amazed. Like how many. Why do Powder Puff this one day? You know what I'm saying? One game. You know what I'm saying? You got many people who love that. You know what I'm saying? And learn that
yeah,
and appreciate that. So I think as we get more coaches like you out here, more programs out here, I think it's going to force the hands, right? Force
yeah.
the hands of these high schools. Like, hey, why not? Let's do this. You know what I'm saying? We enjoy it. We can go ahead and have a season and any way to get these kiddos the opportunity to get a college education. Let's do it.
No doubt, no
It's
doubt.
very very important. So definitely like that. Let me ask you this, Coach. Why if you're recruiting, if you're talking to a parent and they ask you right off the bat, why should my kiddo come play for you? What's your answer?
Yeah. Well, if it gets to that question, I'm assuming we've already got past you know, that all the requirements I have, for the type of athletes I recruit.
Right.
I would say because I may not be the best available option coach wise out there,
Mhm.
but I am somebody who's going to push your kid towards greatness. I'm somebody who's going to hold your kid accountable behaviorally and in the classroom. I'm somebody who will not allow your kid to settle for status quo. I'm somebody who's going to love on your kid. I'm somebody who's going to preach respect. And I'm somebody who's going to teach your kid hard work by my work ethic. I'm a big leader by example is a big component of my coaching style. You gotta make sure the kids and the parents see that you're doing and living a certain way before they can trust that you're going to teach their kid to do that. So these are my core values, if you will, and
Mhm.
I think that it'll attract. Some parents are not going to be like, okay, I'm going to go this way, and that's fine. I'm not for everybody, and I'm not going to beg anybody to have their kid come and play for me. But I think the ones who really value the same things that I value, kids wise and parents wise, they're going to be the ones that end up playing for me, and that's what it's about. That's what it's about right there.
I like that, Mark. I have hogged the mic up so much, which that's what I do, and I apologize. I always apologize to my little brother Mark. Mark, you got any more questions before I got a couple more, but I want to go ahead and give you an opportunity to go ahead and ask Coach.
Now, now he sold me because I'm going to try to talk dynasty and see if she will go Southwestern and play some flag football.
Let's go. Yeah, we got a spot
Great
for it.
talk to my daughter.
Yeah. How old is she? We got a spot.
She's
She's a senior,
17.
right? She's a senior.
She's
Yeah,
seeing it. Yep.
for Central. Yeah, and I basically want to go ahead and just give opportunity to let everybody know how they can reach out to you, contact. Do you need game film? Because there's gonna be some people to see it. We'll cut, slice, and dice this how we always do on some of the points. But it might be some kids like, you know what? I'm interested. How can they? And I'm not on the radar. How can I reach Coach Harris?
Yeah, no doubt. Definitely, I'm reachable through social media mediums. I know most kids nowadays got the Twitter. So, I just recently created the Twitter account for the Southwestern College women's flag football page. And it's at SC Women's Flag. At SC Women's Flag is the Twitter page. Not don't yet have a Instagram page, and it's coming soon. But I have a personal Instagram account, and can add me on there. It's at NO52321. And another way I can actually be reached is another Instagram account that I have. Actually, me and my brother-in-law, you know, kind of similarly to Mike, Mark, and Will, we have a sports podcast. We do a sports podcast every week. And right now we're on Instagram, Twitter. You can look up the show on Spotify, but our Instagram account is at NONJB Sports Pedigree. That kind of that's people's way to kind of see me in a different light, just talking about sports, enjoying my passion for loving basketball, football, the games that I love,
Right, right.
similarly to y'all. And yeah, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at NONJB Sports Pedigree. And yeah, so
We,
those are the
we didn't
mediums
know
where you
we
can
we
find
didn't
us.
know we didn't know we had a ringer on the show.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, no doubt, no doubt, man.
I love that though. I love that, man. I mean,
Yeah.
that's good stuff, man.
And then
Go ahead.
they can also jump on the Southwestern College Athletics website. Just type in Southwestern College Athletics, in Google, and just looking at the sports website and the actual school website, you'll be able to take a virtual tour and see the facilities. And I think that's a big part of it. The kids I recruit, ultimately the ones that are from far away that I can't get on campus,
Right.
definitely going to make sure they get the virtual tour. But hopefully we can get them on campus, and I think a lot of them will be sold by Southwestern. That's going to be the key, getting them on campus to check out the school in person.
Coach, real quick, does Indiana have the state of Indiana have flag football for the ladies?
I don't think they have it yet at the high school level. I don't think they have it yet. But I know some people there, been chatting with them who are in the coaching world at the high school level. So hopefully it becomes a sanctioned high school sport in Indiana pretty soon.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I just think across the board, man, it's needed. And like I said, I love the opportunity. I know Mark and Will show definitely love the opportunity to talk to you, to actually, you know what I'm saying, man, to let this grow. I mean, this is real.
Right.
We have a college coach on the show. You know what I'm saying? They got a
Yeah,
program that's starting, and he is actively recruiting players big time. So we love that, man, and without a doubt. So before we get you, before we let you go, Mark, go and hit him with the last statement that we do.
Yes, sir. This is the opportunity we give our guests before we let them go to give thanks to everybody who's always been in their corner.
no doubt, man. This will be a long one for me. I mean, first I want to give thanks to God, for allowing me to be able to do any of this. And thank y'all for having me on y'all show, Mark and Will. Obviously, B Cosby, the mayor, is the one that set this in motion. To get me on here. So I'm very thankful for his presence in my life, man. All my family, all my friends, my lady, she supports me fully. Um, the coaches I've coached with. If I started saying names, I would never stop. So I'm
Right.
just gonna say positions, and you know, um, my mom and dad. My mama just had a birthday recently, so when
Happy
your parents
birthday.
start getting, yeah, when your parents start getting up there in age into their 60s, you don't know how much longer you're gonna have them with you. So I'm just thankful that both of my parents are still alive and active part of my life, and really thankful for everybody who everybody that's been in my life. Even people who might not like me, because they help with the drive that I have, and allowing me to be focused and pushing me to be great at every aspect of everything that I do.
Love that, man. Great answer. Um, we got to have you back on, Coach,
Of
because
course.
The thing about it is, what separates us, man, is that we truly, truly, truly want to make sure all these kiddos get as much help as they can,
Mhm.
much recognition that they can. And being that you got a new program, you know what I'm saying? Uh, you family, cars family, you family, you know what I'm saying? If you family with cars, you are family too, and we definitely will want you back on to
Yes, sir.
promote your program as much as possible. You know what I'm saying? So we'll definitely have you back on. And this is very, very, very educational. Also a chance for these kiddos to get an education, take it seriously,
Of course.
this is an opportunity, another opportunity. We don't get too many opportunities. This is
Yeah.
another opportunity. Take care of your grades, do what you gotta do, play the sport that you love, go ahead and excel in that, get away, go to college, and learn from that, and also play something that you like playing. You don't utilize that. So definitely got to get you back on here before the season and things like that. The door is always going to be open for you, without a doubt, Coach.
Yep. No doubt. Spring 2024 will be our first season. And I would love to be back on with y'all fellas before then. I appreciate y'all having me on.
Hey, Coach, number love. Hey, don't forget,
No
man.
problem.
We gotta get that swag though. We gotta get some of that swag. Whenever you get that, you gotta get that swag down here.
No doubt. No doubt. I got y'all.
All right, Coach. We holler at you.
All right. Talk to y'all later.
All right.
You all right?
That right there, man, is very, very unique, man.
Yeah.
When we had Dr. Brooks on here talking about the tournament, and they had a good tournament. You know what I'm saying? They did what they had to do.
Yeah.
Nice. So we go for a tournament. A 1 day, 2 day tournament, whatever. 1 day tournament, champions, all this. So, so when you talk to a young lady and say, "Hey, let's go to this tournament. Let's play." But now you have an opportunity to say, you can actually go to college for this.
Yeah. Yep.
It makes a difference. It
Yeah.
makes a,
Education.
it makes a
Yeah, I
difference.
do.
And so that man, that's man, that's from the heart, man. I love that, man. More opportunities. You can't go wrong with that, bro. I mean, that right
You
there
can't.
is another avenue for you to continue your education. And I love what he said. I'm not messing with you. You're not taking it serious. Like you got to get the grades. You got to do all that stuff, man. That's love, man.
Right.
Yeah, and I wish Kentucky don't be the last state. Don't be the last state. Jump. Well, we see what
You know
Dr.
how that
are
is.
trying to do. The tournament. So let's get it in the schools. Every school. It's like wrestling. Wrestling is not in every school. That's cool. Some people
Right.
cannot support that or fund that or whatever. But let's go ahead and do that. Let's do.
Hmm.
I know some cats who coach leagues, professional leagues. They used to coach professional leagues. That's in the city. I went to school.
Right.
I'm sure if the Bulldogs have one, I know they would coach them. Like
Yep.
let's go ahead and take advantage of the situation. Let's get these young ladies an opportunity. Let's get them an opportunity to get that education, just like the young student athlete, the guys get to for football. So let's get the flag football. Let's get that rolling. There's a ton of schools
Right.
doing it. Come on, man. It is what it is.
You right. You absolutely right.
I mean, like you said, niece, she can go ahead and do that. It's all whatever. Let's go, let's go. But I'm gonna tell you what. This is what makes
Right.
Mark Will Show special. Another what? Another banger. That's all we do,
Ah.
baby. That's all we do. We see y'all later. Thank you, Coach, for joining us.
Yes.
Peace out.
It's 8 p.m. Let's get it. Mark and Will, yeah, yeah. Mark and Will, yeah, yeah. It's the Mark and Will Show. It's the Mark and Will Show. Monday through Friday, player. Watch it while you on the go. It's the Mark and Will Show. It's the Mark and Will Show. Catch them at 8 p.m. They gon' tell you what they know. It's the Mark and Will Show. It's the Mark and Will Show. Monday through Friday, player. Watch it while you on the go. It's the Mark and Will Show. It's the Mark and Will Show. Catch them at 8 p.m. They gon' tell you what they know.